the consumer has moved on, but the question is, has the wedding industry caught up? We ran an inquiry test with 20 venues. We were looking for what was the response time, what was the overall quality of the response, and how and when and how frequently did they follow up with us? What did that look like? 13 replied, 7 didn't bother, sorry. Of the 13, 1 replied in 48 hours, which I still think is far too long.
Wow.
4 took over a week to reply, but the majority took over 2 weeks to reply. And then when we got the responses back, most of them looked like this. Let me play this. This is an email back from one of the venues. Okay. Just blocks and blocks and blocks of text.
Wow.
Look at it. Doesn't that just suck the life out of you guys? I mean, come on.
Wow.
This is just painful.
It is, guys. If you're relating to this, please let us know in the comments. As I said to you, all these sessions are very much interactive. The more you engage, the more you take away from it. But I think many of us will have an opinion about this email.
Well, exactly. And look, this is what we'll kind of get onto that, because I do want your feedback on this, guys, as well. We'll kind of get onto that in a moment's time. But look, so taking this a stage deeper is we know that 95% of the wedding industry still use phone call and email as the primary source of communication between them and the prospect. And as we know, look, the millennial generation who are, whether we like it or not, are our main customers now, because they're the ones getting married. They don't like they don't like telephones. They don't like people phoning them. Maybe we've got, things like PPI to blame for that, but they don't answer the phone. And emails only ever had a 20% open rate. They're using these less, and they're using things like this more.
More.
Chat.
I'm just going to check in with comments, Tim. Just one.
Yeah, no, please do.
So Dougie says if he takes more than an hour to reply, he's kicking himself. Tim was just laughing at that email. Joe was saying I would just ignore it. Yeah, I think we have been guilty of doing that ourselves as well. So that's my cat in the background, by the way.
Bring him on. Bring him on.
Tim is saying comprehensive. ... I agree. Lindsay saying, "Holy cow! I would have clicked straight off that email." And Kimberly saying, "Really working on responses and follow-ups." And Dom says, "What would that email look like on mobile?" Exactly. Yeah, Dom, that's a very good point. Who would have scrolled so far down that email?
Yeah. Exactly that. And look, this is the next slide. I was going to kind of ask you these questions and what your thoughts were. To just kind of finish this one off, is what we say to a lot of the business we speak to is, look, companies today don't have a sales problem. What they have is a communications problem. And what this means is their content and their collateral isn't getting through because they're using outdated methods of communication that they kind of just hope get through.
Yeah.
The purpose of collateral and content is that it communicates the benefits of our business versus the business down the street. But we're falling at the first hurdle here, guys. That vital rapport isn't being built, which, as we know, is so vital in the wedding industry. And in the case we just saw, communication, the content of your communication can cause them to abandon the process, which creates a huge leaking bucket.
Yeah.
So why does this matter so much for the wedding industry? It matters for businesses in general, of course, but I think it matters even more for the wedding industry. Why? Because weddings are not just another product or service, are they, guys? What we're selling is the dream. Yeah, we're selling a dream. People only get married once. Well, in their head they do. And subconsciously, what does our communication say about our ability to deliver upon that dream day? So in the example that we just saw, what assumptions would you guys draw from that? We've kind of already covered this off, and it's great that everyone's kind of starting to think about this already. But it was late, it was boring, it was impersonal, and they didn't even bother following up. I'll tell you what it says to me. It says they haven't got their shit together. as a business? Do you think that person went with that venue, or do you think they went with the venue that responded sooner, had more visuals, did a more personalized follow-up, maybe using modern methods of communication? What do you think happened? And it's pretty much, when we're speaking to wedding venues, we know that half the battle is just getting them in through the front door so that they can have a look around. Once you do that, someone falls in love with it. So it's kind of who can get to them first, who can build the rapport, who can keep the communication. That's half the battle, guys. Okay.
It's interesting, Tim, because, you know, quite often I think the perception is let's give people as much information as possible, whereas that's the wrong thing, because if you overwhelm people with the amount of information, I mean, that email would have taken some amount of time for somebody to type in all these dates and all these rates and everything else like that. You know, for the effort, but actually it's achieving nothing. And overwhelming the couple, and they're just moving on to the next email. So, you know, Kelly quite often says to our members, your number one objective is not, you know, kill them with the information, but actually get them on a call or a show round and get them in front of you. I mean, Lindsay's saying here, she's struggling to keep track of inquiries from platforms like Instagram. She says it would be great to have a system to log inquiries from all different sources. I think that's the kind of problem that as an industry we've got, and hopefully that somebody will come up with something like that. I know that you guys do something like that for wedding venues, Tim, isn't that right?
That's what we've got. That's exactly what we've built, Lindsay. We've built a system whereby it connects all of your lead sources. So all of your leads, all of your inquiries can come forward into one platform. We centralize all the communications. We filter out all the time wasters, and then the system will do 90% of that time-consuming follow-up, so that, quite frankly, you can go on and do something more important in your business. If anyone wants to kind of chat about that, of course, just give me a shout afterwards, or go onto the website and book some time, and I'll give you guys a demo of exactly how it works. No problem at all.
Brilliant. Thank you.